Joe Biden's dogs have been kicked out of the White House because apparently Major, one of his dogs, actually bit somebody. Now, this isn't a huge story in my opinion, but I'm covering it because one, I think it's a bit funny, but two, because it's ironic. There were so many people and media outlets who were praising Joe Biden essentially for just having dogs, talking about how it's a wonderful thing, we're going to have dogs back in the White House. And it turns out we're not, at least not for a little while. So CNN says that Major had an aggressive incident and they're being sent back to Delaware. Now, that aggressive incident means that he actually bit a White House guard. However, this isn't the first time that Joe Biden's dogs have had aggressive behavior in the White House. It's just the most recent incident, and they actually bit someone, so it's a little bit more extreme. And though it's not really relevant, I think it's funny that this is the same dog who sprained Joe Biden's ankle back before he entered office. Now, I'm not really a fan of dogs to begin with, so to me, this isn't really that important or that big a deal. But the reason I wanted to talk about it is because there were so many articles like this one, talking about how dogs coming back to the White House was yet another victory. The Washington Post ran articles about it, so did USA Today. But my personal favorite is CNN, where they said that Joe Biden is restoring a time-honored tradition of having first pups in the White House. And the reason I find this also amusing is because it's really a stupid thing to highlight. Sure, he has dogs and good for him, I suppose, but it's irrelevant. It has nothing to do with his presidency or his policies. I couldn't care less if a president does or doesn't have a dog. It's irrelevant to me. What I care about is what they actually do, the policies and the laws that they enact. So this here just shows that when you focus on dogs being in the White House and then the dogs have to leave the White House because they bite somebody, then you have made it into a story. I wouldn't be covering this if it weren't for all of the people gushing about how wonderful Joe Biden is for having dogs. It's really stupid, to be honest, but it's ironic. So, there's that. And talking about stupidity, I first saw this news because I was on my Facebook feed and this article from CNN popped up. And yes, I do follow CNN because I like to see what they say, even though I disagree with it almost all the time. And I just want to highlight a few comments I saw on this Facebook post. This person said that the dogs knew something wasn't right, and what we should do is investigate the person who was bit, because, they must have done something wrong. Or perhaps the dogs just recognized that Joe Biden was in danger by his own White House guards, and so it's not their fault. Or just maybe all of this is Trump's fault, because everything is Trump's fault. At least according to this guy, who said that Trump's bad energy, his bad mojo, I suppose, is still in the White House. And Trump is so evil, Orange Man is so bad, that he can make a dog bite someone, even though he is thousands of miles away, presumably. Now, in actuality, what probably just happened is that the dogs were uncomfortable being around so many different people. And that's understandable. That happens. I'm not saying that Major is necessarily a bad dog. I think perhaps they should have done something so that this didn't happen. And if there were incidents of aggression in the past, which there were, then maybe they should have seen this coming. But essentially all it is the dogs, they were scared. There were a lot of people they didn't know in a very different environment, and so they acted out. And that is pretty understandable. But once again, the reason I'm talking about this is because everyone made such a huge deal that not only did Joe Biden become president, but that his dogs are now first dogs, and how wonderful it is to have dogs in the White House again. And if you make such a big deal about something so stupid, and then it literally comes back to bite you, like this dog did, well, I'm going to cover it, because I think it's funny, and I think it's ironic. Go ahead and let me know what you think about all this down in the comment section below. And if you have dogs, if your dog bites somebody, do you just automatically assume the person they bit had it coming? Are they inherently wrong and need to be investigated? Probably not, but let me know. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.